This video will show a stock price for each NFL team as of the end of Week 15, 2011. These odds are merely the percentage chances for each team to end this year as the Super Bowl champions. Each team but one will end at 0, and the winner will end at 100, as the Green Bay Packers were in 2010. The prices were imported from an online sportsbook with calculations done within its VIG. This is merely for entertainment purposes. Hello, let's get started, and we're going to go through all the different teams and what their stock prices would be. This is the NFC West division, and on here there's a price for the 49ers at $6.04, which opened at $1.28, and at the end of week 3 was worth 85 cents, despite a 2-1 record at that time. So basically what's done is you take the odds for each team to win the Super Bowl, and then you find out 6-1, 10-1, 50-1, whatever it happens to be. And you find out basically what the percentage chances is on 50-1, which is 0.02. 10-1 is 0.1. And you divide it by the overall VIG, which is basically around 20%. So therefore, we have a situation where the Cardinals have a 6% chance of winning the Super Bowl. Cardinals should have, I think, 0.026. This was a technical error because as long as you have a chance to win the Super Bowl, you're not going to be at 0. But this states that the Cardinals or the Seahawks have a 1 in 400 chance, and you can pretty much put the same on the Arizona Cardinals. In the NFC South, we have the New Orleans Saints at 13.08, the Atlanta Falcons at 3.02. So the Saints weren't given as much respect at the start of the season, being under $5 or 5% to win. But in a situation like this, if you look at the way a free market would work, if I was to state at the start that I want to bet against the Saints at the start of the season, and I put up $100 and someone wants to put up $460, well, then the bet's in place. And if the Saints don't win the Super Bowl, I'll collect the person's $460. And if, of course, they don't, I'll have to pay out that $100, basically. So that's one way of doing it. And if you have a wager like that, and say the person who made the bet at 13.08 wants to sell it, then technically he could triple his bet back if he wants to get out of the wager. But as it's said and done, everyone is going to end at either 0, like the Minnesota Vikings here, or right at 100. They're stating the Green Bay Packers have a pretty much almost 1/3 of a chance. 33% is a third of winning the Super Bowl. Lions, basically $1.54. In the NFC East, we got the Dallas Cowboys, 341. The New York Football Giants, under 2. The Denver Broncos. This is interesting here. Why, oh why, do the Denver Broncos have a harder shot to go win the Super Bowl than the San Diego Chargers? For the Denver Broncos to make the playoffs, all they merely have to do is they can do it this week by defeating the Buffalo Bills as well as the Raiders losing in Kansas City. Basically, if both the favorites win, they win the division. And even if they just beat Kansas City, no matter what happens, they win the division. Chargers need a lot of help, so I'm really confused to this issue. But a lot of times when you're seeing these wagers, sometimes the odds makers gives teams way too much or way too little respect. Broncos in the spot, too little. Chargers, too much. The Houston Texans at $2.71. The Titans, 52 cents. The Ravens at $7.13, the Steelers at $5.23, the Bengals at 31 cents, and finally the New England Patriots at $15.70, the Jets at $1.17. Just for fun, if you want to make any plays, make any bets, I'll update these for the future weeks. If there's really not much participation, which I kind of expect given that my dozens and dozens, that would be dozens and dozens, that's pluralized, so 24, I'm not getting 48 views, well maybe. But because there's only so many views, if you're interested, I'm going to go through the ones that I think just on a week-by-week basis would have a decent chance of winning, that is. Now, a short on the Steelers, they're going to be starting Ben Roethlisberger, not. But they did fairly well. I'm not going to really touch any of them. The big one, like I say, when you see that they're not respecting anyone, I would play the Broncos 154, pretty much say buy 20 shares and maybe look to profit take throughout the week. So I would expect that this would be much higher at the start of next week. And in an example where you buy 20 shares, maybe you would sell 7, 8. If a game like this could work where you could buy and sell on a week-by-week basis, because it would be kind of fun to have this on a full year basis. And week by week, you can make your long, your short bets, and you can do this all season long. It'd be quite fun. Getting a platform to do it, that would be hard considering I cannot program, not whatsoever. I can really barely program, and thus it would be very difficult. But again, something fun to do as far as, let's just go through them quickly again. Like I say, the Broncos would be one that I would go through. Now, the Texans, I think, are going to win this week. So this is like a one-week play. You buy it this week, and you're looking to sell it the next week. That's as simple as that gets. The Kansas City Chiefs, maybe you want to play this little penny stock at 16 cents. So they need a little bit of help. That's not a bad speculation for a 1 or 2 week play. At least going into the Denver-Kansas City game, that is. Will the Giants come back from their... will the Eagles play the Cowboys? So, in a sense, if you think the Eagles are going to win, that's going to go higher. If they win, that's going to go up. If the Cowboys win, that'll go up. And vice versa if they lose, basically. So, thank you for watching, and take care.